Welcome Transformer fans, my name is Composite Enerjoe and today's review will be on the Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise Deluxe Class Hoist. And here he is in his alt mode, which is a green pickup truck, which is which is based off of his Generation 1 pickup truck, which was then based on I believe it was called a Toyota Hilux pickup truck. And that's what this is based on. And I have to say, looking at the photos, it's a very nice recreation of that alt mode and of that figure. So yeah, here he is. And if you didn't notice, this right here is his weapon, which is how then this is where it is stored on his vehicle mode, either on each side. And to my knowledge, there's no other real way for you to really store this, so I'm going to set this off to the side. So yeah, here he is in his alt mode. Very nice. He has 4 functioning wheels and rolls quite well. And he also has another feature, which involves this little orange bit here, which is his, what was it called? His tow apparatus? Like, essentially, this is how he would essentially use, this would be his, like, tow hook, I guess. Hold on. There we go. Connect that all the way down. Oh, this also has a functioning wheel here, so you can have them roll like this. So this way, he has his little connector bits for the whole for the whole connecting style that's part of Earthrise. So you can connect this with like other characters and just sort of drag him around with them. So it's nice. So this is a somewhat functional tow truck, which is pleasant. It's nice that they're able to recreate that. So let's put that back off, and there we go. So yeah, I think my one complaint with this vehicle mode, I do really like it, is that you can't see, like, from the side all of the robot parts. Like, you can see his robot hands, his well, not his legs, but you can visibly see his hands and arms from both staring at face on and from the side. I find that's kind of disappointing, although if you put it at this angle, you can't even see it. But other than that, I find this is a very nice, solid vehicle mode. So, onto his transformation, which starts off by, what was the first step here? I think you have to lift this thing up. Oh no, I think it was the arms, yeah. Come over here, the arms. Lift this up, like so. Fold that out, fold this out. And then we have his legs, this sort of half truck mode. Then you come here. Hold on. Oh, you lift this piece up, that's right. You lift the front of the truck up, and then you lift up his arms. Make sure these pieces are, folded in for clearance. There we go. Lift this up. You then bring this assembly down, and if done correctly, it'll peg into here. Well, I don't know if you can see that. There's like a peg here, there, that goes into this port. There we go. Now we have his chest. He's getting a little bit tall. You straighten out his arms, like so, like so. Then you take this assembly. Oh, you have to lift this part out, and then pushing this piece up, you reveal these sort of lights. Then you flip out. Carefully flip out his head, and you bring this assembly down, and then you lift this up, hold that down, and then this will plug into, I believe, this into here. There we go. Yeah, plugs into there. And then this piece is just up there above his head, which is present on the Generation 1 toy and character. And there we have it. It's yet again another pretty straightforward transformation. Nothing too complicated, which I don't mind. I like simple transformations. As long as it's not like anything like a 1 or 2 step, that's a bit much. But this is a nice solid transformation. So yeah, here's Hoist in his robot mode. And it's a very nice robot mode. A very nice recreation of his, or more like an update of his Generation 1 robot mode. So let's get a closer look. And let's look at his head sculpt, which I'm really digging the head sculpt. It's a very nicely designed head sculpt. Very nice. And I guess from here I'll go into articulation. His head is on a ball joint. And I'm going to go a little out of order. I'm not going to mention his arms yet because I have a big issue with his arms. So to his legs, he does have a waist swivel. Legs can go out this far, forward, back, and has a double bend at the knee, as well as a ankle pivot. And now I go back to his arms, which are my one complaint with his robot mode. His arms can go out this far, forward this far, can go 360, and has a very nice bend at the elbow, as well as a swivel on the arm. And he does have a little bit of a wrist action. But yeah, if you notice when I moved his arm forward, this little plastic piece goes forward with him. But when I put it out, it just stays there. This is my biggest complaint with this figure, is that you have these little panels that are just sticking out. I think those are present both in the original figure and in the original cartoon's design. But my goodness, I really wish they would have like folded this, or at least had it be connected to his arms or something, so that when I fold out his arms, it doesn't do this. So if you try and do a pose like this, this is just sticking out. It's just not a fun design. I do not like that at all. That's my one complaint. So each mode I have a complaint with. One being that in the vehicle mode you can see his arms, and in robot mode is that this panel here is just really in the way. It just looks so weird. Do that, like posing him is just so weird looking because of these panels. I just find them so annoying. But that aside, I still consider Hoist here a very solid figure, and I think worth getting, especially if you hadn't gotten a Hoist before. So yeah, and now with his accessory, you just have this weapon here, which you just put it over his arm completely, and it serves as an arm cannon, which is nice. It's a very cool arm cannon. So yeah, outside of my 2 complaints, he's overall a very decent and very cool figure to have. I think I just realized if you're looking from the back, he seems to be a little gappy here in the legs, but I think that's fine. I think you can like shrug that off. Yeah, overall, he's a solid figure. You know, barring minus the 2 complaints, he's a pretty solid figure. So, size comparisons. Here's Ratchet, and here's Cliff Jumper. And Hoist is actually quite big he's quite tall for a deluxe class. As you can see, he's actually quite a bit taller than Ratchet here, who I sort of use as a standard deluxe size. But yeah, he's very tall for a deluxe size, which is very cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, overall, he's a solid figure. I believe he's worth picking up if you find him. Now onto the mini history. Now, who is Hoist? Well, Hoist is a Generation 1 Transformer, obviously, and he's part of the Autobot side. And his personality is that he is basically a doctor. Like, he's not on the same sort of level as Ratchet, but I think the comparison somebody made was that Ratchet is more like a surgeon, so Hoist would be something like a family doctor. So, yeah, he goes around, you know, doing checkups and fixing people up, which is cool, and I find it interesting that he's a tow truck, and so that makes sense. Ratchet's an ambulance, so he's a doctor, and so is Hoist, but he turns into a pickup truck, which is kind of both cute and funny at the same time. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much him. He's best friends with Grapple, and he sometimes shares his body mold. Like Hoist is one of those characters that tends to sort of share his mold with another Transformer. In this case, it's Trailbreaker, or sometimes called Trail Cutter, who was, you know, called that for a little bit. But yeah, he tends to share his mold with Trailbreaker / Trail Cutter. But yeah, And that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's Hoist. And he's a solid figure. Not too bad. So far, I'm really digging this Earthrise line. They're doing a pretty good job. So yeah, so this has been my review of the Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise Deluxe Class Hoist. This is Composite Enerjoe signing out. Peace out.